Hi. I don't usually I don't usually get to show this much of Grace in a YouTube video, but she's a little excited right now because we're going to tell a story about her, right? You gotta sit here with me? Yes? Cool. So, not very long ago, last week, Friday, right? Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. On Thursday or Friday, this package came. This package came the day after I finally posted online some concern, some worry that maybe something had happened to it. My package still hasn't arrived. And it came the very next day. And thanks to Grace here, who's now off camera. Why are you off camera? Thank you. You're back on camera. Thanks to Grace here, my package was not... I'm being drowned by a dog. My package was not damaged. Can you be on camera but not freaking out? Is that possible? You're not sure? Okay. You're kind of on camera. All right, so this package, what is it? It is Cosmic Dark. The successor, maybe, the outgrowth of the next step in the Cthulhu Dark journey by Graham Walmsley. Now, this is, of course, in many respects, a horror game. This one with a focus, as you might expect from Cosmic Dark, with the great beyond, interplanetary horrors and the like. This Kickstarter was, as usual, with Graham Walmsley, excellently run, great communication, a good use of the available resources without, endless shenanigans and stretch goals. And surprise, surprise, by taking that kind of care, the product, the whole thing, delivered in timely fashion. So we had the opportunity to get older material, already finished older material, in a print format, which hadn't been available for a very long time. But really the focus was on Cosmic Dark itself. So let's take a look at what's in the box. But let's get to Grace's story, because she's now drifted out of camera, perhaps in protest. Protest! The story is not about her. As I mentioned earlier, she prevented damage to the box. Now, if you've watched our look at Pendragon Core Rules and Starter Set video, you know that package did get damaged. Every single item in that package got damaged. And how did it get damaged? It got damaged by the delivery agent reaching the gate, and rather than putting it in the large mailbox next to the gate, it's red. It's very hard to miss on my very large white wall next to my very large gate. Anyway, the response was to toss it over the top of the gate rather than put it in the mailbox. The same fate was about to befall this package. However, two things are in my favor. One, somebody needed to go outside to conduct some business of her own. And I went with her. And before that business could be conducted, she alerted. Right? You got very alert? Isn't that how it happened? Yes. She heard the footsteps of the delivery agent coming down the lane. And then she barked once, which caused the delivery agent to stop in his tracks, which gave me time to go to the gate to see what was going on and arrive just in time to snatch the packet from potential disaster and destruction. Okay, you can light it. Yeah, your part of the story's over. Yeah. So, without the 2-meter drop from the top of the gate to the concrete below, this package looks pretty good for all of its travels. It's well taped up. It has a large cardboard flap over the top to help. It's solidly packed, and what is supposed to be inside, of course, is my Cosmic Dark rules and a copy in hardcover, finally, after all of these years, of the wonderful Stealing Cthulhu, which if you haven't heard about, we'll talk about a little bit later. All right, so let's cut some tape, because that's fun. You can't cut tape because you don't have thumbs. So, but you could observe. So, long ago, when Stealing Cthulhu was written, in its back was a little rule set called Cthulhu Dark, which eventually led to another excellent Kickstarter by Graham Walmsley for Cthulhu Dark, which produced a Cthulhu Dark 0 and Cthulhu Dark itself, and there was even a limited edition, which is the one that I was very happy to receive. And it is a really interesting take on Lovecraftian style cosmic horror that very successfully models the, let's say, deleterious effects of exposure to cosmic horrors, right? Without necessarily making play be all about the mental destruction of the character, and without necessarily making it into a race against time. What's going to happen first? Is the investigator going to fail due to physical or mental trauma, or will we reach some kind of end point in the scenario? Built differently. All right, so inside the many layers of this package, we have my favorite packing paper and my other favorite large bubble wrap. Awesome. So the packing paper is wrapped around it in a ring to keep it safe from moving left and right, and the box was conveniently sized to be larger, so that sort of thing was possible. And then all the other directions are protected by bubble wrap. And I can see through the bubble wrap that Stealing Cthulhu is here, as is Cosmic Dark. And they are in, our modern digest format. First item on top is a bookmark, which is cool. We have the front, Cosmic Dark. And we have the back. Are you trying to ascertain if it's safe? I think it's safe. Yes, I'm going to put that right there. But the next item is a book plate with a signature. Isn't that nice? Then we have Cosmic Dark itself with a ribbon. What do you think about unboxing this format, the sitting on the floor thing? You feeling relaxed? I hardly ever see the stuff that's down here, so it's kind of interesting for me. All right, the future is dark. The back of the book says, which of course you can read if you go to where this will eventually be made public to everyone. In the far reaches of the galaxy is a bleak, starless region. Are you going to come here to find out about the bleak, starless region? I'll get out of your way. Thanks. So there's a bleak, starless region. Do you remember that part? Okay. And it's dominated by a golden scar known as the Glitch. This is where the mining conglomerate, there's a mining conglomerate, Yeah, it sent your characters until you leave, die, or lose your mind. What do you think you would do first? Would you leave, die, or lose your mind? Neither. None of them. It's 3 choices, so it can't be neither. None of those things would you do. Okay. So weird space horror. Very cool. It runs. I need to open the book. We need to be able to see in it without your face being in the way. I don't know if I'm going to include you in future videos. I'm just going to say that now. It pushes... How many pages? 150? More than that, right? Yes, it's more than that. 186 mentioned pages. All right. So, differently than we've approached things in the past, this one starts out with the first thing that you look at being a layout for adventure, right? And in play, you can create your characters. Meaning that if you get the urge for a bunch of people over at your house, not dogs, you could, quite honestly, settle down and, just like you would with a board game, decide that you might want to play this. I think that's kind of interesting. We'll talk more about Cosmic Dark later. And if any of what I've said about it sounds interesting, there are other videos and commentary out there for you to look at. Stealing Cthulhu. This is one of those rare moments when I just loved the title, so I bought the book and then I read it. And it was one of those rare moments like when you hear a song from a band that is your favorite or will become your favorite, or you read a book that encapsulates your personal life experience, or in some way you feel like the author understands you, the musician understands you. Well, this is one of those moments in gaming where I went, yes, I found things in here that I was doing. It was nice to get confirmation in a sense, and I found details that I wasn't doing, and that was nice too, is support and developments. And I've found things that I didn't quite agree with, or things that I felt were missing, and I felt like I could contribute in some way. And I think that is a really good experience. But what are we talking about? Stealing Cthulhu is really about preparation, right? What are you doing? Come here. Sit down. Be at peace. Yes. It's about preparation. It's about long-form play, whether that's a bunch of discrete investigations, whether it's about single investigations with a host of different characters, or whether it's about long-form campaign play. How can you look at the Lovecraftian elements that exist in the source material and do more than just copy them, or how to avoid transforming it into something that none of you are looking for? Like, that didn't feel very much like Lovecraft or whatever. Getting you in touch with a lot of examples and the contributions of some very interesting RPG writers. How can you connect with those elements, make them yours, and keep them in the vein of Lovecraft, of cosmic horror? So it says on the back, Stealing Cthulhu shows how to steal stories, giving you new scenarios taken straight from Lovecraft's work. Steal plots, explaining the secrets behind Lovecraft stories and how to use them in your own scenarios. Steal creatures with a guide to, blah, blah, blah. And the original version of Cthulhu Dark is in here. All right. So it's nice to get this finally in print and be able to, wave it around while I talk about it, to reread it, so we can sit under the reading lamp, right? We can read Stealing Cthulhu to each other, and that will be fun. And that will, of course, always get us in the mood for Cosmic Dark. So I think there's been enough distraction and chaos, maybe cosmic horror, in this unboxing video for us to consider it finished. But my thanks go out to Graham Walmsley for yet another well-run, well-executed Kickstarter campaign with good work. And if you're at all into cosmic horror, if you're at all into investigative role-playing games, it's definitely something to check out. It may offer you a different way to think about what you've been doing, which you may really appreciate, or which may send you down a path of self-reflection, which even if you don't incorporate anything you read in this material, is always beneficial. All right. Until the next time, I'm going to say goodbye. You don't want to say goodbye? There's too many goodbyes in the world. So how about until the next time, take care.